Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie.
Here.
Director Rundy.
Here.
Director Hayes is not here. Director Roth is not here. Director Moore is excused. Director Gray.
Here.
And President Bradley.
Here we have a quorum, and before we start the call meeting to order, before we start the actual regular agenda, I just want to note at the top of the agenda, it notes a hearing for today, 8173. It's not actually a hearing. What it is it's a follow-up of a conditional use revocation hearing, a 30-day follow-up, so we'll handle that after the regular agenda.
Okay, from the President, PSA number 1178, testing and inspection of materials for various projects at Lambert St. Louis International Airport. Supplemental Agreement number 12 to PSA number 1104, testing and inspection of materials at Lambert St. Louis International Airport. Supplemental Agreement number 13 to PSA number 1104, testing and inspection of materials at Lambert St. Louis International Airport. Supplemental Agreement number 14 to PSA number 1104, testing and inspection of materials at Lambert St. Louis International Airport. Supplemental Agreement number 15 to PSA number 1104, testing and inspection of materials at Lambert St. Louis International Airport. Central West End Special Business District Medium and Street Side Maintenance Funding Agreement 2012 between Central West End North Special Business District and the City of St. Louis in the amount of $93,522.17. Recommends approval. Recommendation that permit for Midwest Soccer Academy to encroach with temporary snow fence and supports in front of building at 1520 Market, March 11th through the 12th, 2016. Recommends approval subject to certain conditions. From the Director of Public Utilities, recommendation that the Board declares as emergency action to provide protection from falling debris from Compton Hill Tower facades via installation of steel perimeter fence at Compton Hill Water Tower. Recommends approval. From the Director of Public Utilities and Streets, joint recommendation that the following permits be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. For Charter Communications, begin at the intersection of Washington and North 8th in front of 800 Washington in manhole marked manhole 229 and continue east on Washington to North 6. Then go north on 6 and terminate in a manhole marked C-136 east of 711 North Broadway. Charter Communications will be doing a 2-inch bore to take aerial coaxial cable to UG starting in the alleyway behind 4310 Wabash, going south ending at 4320 Wabash. Charter Communications will be doing a 2-inch bore to place aerial coaxial cable UG starting in the alley behind 5010 Terry and ending behind 5028 Terry. Charter Communications doing a 2-inch bore to relocate aerial fiber and coaxial to underground for a new MDU commercial property at 6105 Delmar. Then the bore will start in the alleyway behind 6101 Delmar and stop behind 6133 Delmar. Charter Communications started existing node cabinet on the west side of 1405 Pine. From there will open cut from existing node cabinet around the building to existing Amarin manhole, placing 2-inch plus or minus 15 feet off the curb line, 14th Street. Charter Communications started power pole on 23rd in front of 800 North 23rd, set vault in sidewalk, open cut south along North 23rd, placing a vault in sidewalk at alley entrance, open cut east down alley in utility easement, set vault 3 pole down, cut south at 710 North 23rd. Charter Communications started at power pole in the rear of 4652 Maryland, set a vault and utility easement at base of pole and open cut west across North Euclid, turn and open cut north along North Euclid, set vault and sidewalk at alley entrance in rear of 2 Maryland. Charter Communications started existing vault and sidewalk at Tucker and Chestnut, open cut east, turn and open cut north across Chestnut to alley entrance, set manhole in middle of alley entrance and open cut west into 100 Tucker. Cables placed will be a 36 CT fiber and 2-inch duct. Charter Communications UG construction of fiber cable beginning at pole mark 175742 in alley on south side of 4100 Lindell, bore east down alley for approximately 1,090 feet and terminate on north side of 3933 West Pine. Charter Communications for UG construction of coax cable starting at existing manhole at the intersection of Olive and 20th, bore south approximately 275 feet on the 20th at the point. Construction will continue on 20th Street for 110 feet and split and go east on Pine for 210 feet at 1900 Pine. XTEL Systems Inc. starting at 2525 South 7th Street, a route totaling 3,610 feet and ending with a placement of proposed XTNet node STL BREWE 03C at 1102 Wyoming. XTNEL Systems Inc. starting at 195 Arsenal Street to bore a route totaling 1,089 feet, ending with the placement of proposed XTNet node STL BREWE 01C at 3301 South 2nd Street. XTNet Systems Inc. starting at 3001 South Broadway to bore a route totaling 1,551 feet, ending with the placement of proposed XTNet node STL BREWE 02B at 137 Arsenal. XTNet Systems Inc. to directional board for purpose of installing a UG fiber route starting at proposed XTNet volt at 2223/2225 South Jefferson and through 1,772 feet of the city right-of-way, ending at proposed XTNet node STL JEFF 4403 at 2010 Victor. XTNet Systems Inc. to directional board for the purpose of installing a UG fiber route consisting of 3 conduits starting at proposed XTNet node at 1917 South Jefferson. The UG fiber route will cover 1,671 feet in the right-of-way and end at 2225 South Jefferson at proposed XTNet node. XO Communications by means of drilling or trenching place 1 2-inch HDPE duct from existing XO manhole approximately 100 feet west, then turn north for approximately 16 feet to proposed building entry at 10 South Broadway beginning at 4th and Walnut, 2 and 100 South 4th. XO Communications drilling or trenching at 11 North 4th, place 1 2-inch HDPE duct from existing XO manhole approximately 18 feet north, then turn west for approximately 123 feet, then turn north for approximately 44 feet to proposed building entry at 100 North Broadway. AT&T started existing manhole near 2303 Indiana, bore for 178 feet to riser pole at 2245 Shenandoah. From the riser pole at 2200 Indiana, bore 123 feet to new concrete pad and distribution box at 2303 Ann and place concrete bollards at 2303 Ann for protection. AT&T started existing manhole at 2303 Ann, bore a total of 641 feet to riser pole at 2200 South Jefferson, 2201 Missouri, and 2305 Ann. AT&T starting at 1625 South Jefferson exposed existing conduit on the north side of McCree, then bore under McCree from north to south to pole on the south side of McCree. Total right-of-way footage is 60 feet, ending at 4516 McCree. AT&T placed 4 feet by 4 feet by 4 feet street rated handhold on alley at rear of 4166 Lindell. Also placed 20 feet of 20-inch inner duct from new handhold to building entry at rear of 4166 Lindell. AT&T from handhold at 3801 Cleveland bore 2 fibers 164 feet to riser pole at the rear of 3801 Cleveland. From the handhold will bore 2 fiber to riser poles at 2167 South Spring. AT&T starting at existing AT&T manhole at 3666 Flat, bored 221 feet to a new 3 feet by 5 feet by 3 feet at 3801 Cleveland. Next to handhold, place new 4 feet by 4 feet concrete pad with fiber distribution box. AT&T starting at side of 5350, place a new 3 feet by 5 feet by 3 feet handhold, remove and replace 2 sections of sidewalk and trench 20 feet to new 4 feet by 4 feet concrete pad with fiber distribution box at 5350 Mardale. AT&T access existing manhole at 3537 South Broadway and bore 146 feet west along Pernod, then 64 feet north to rear of 3537 South Broadway. A fiber cable will be placed. Southwestern Bell Telephone Company doing business as AT&T, starting at existing AT&T manhole located at the side of 5160 Brown, bore north for 61 feet across Brown, turn and bore east for additional 102 feet, ending at an existing pole at the side of 4170 Geraldine where a fiber optic cable will be placed. Level 3 Communications, LLC, to install 10 feet of 3 1.25-inch IDS DR11 HD PE conduit by cutting and restoring 30 square feet of asphalt roadway from existing level 3 manhole at 400 South St. Charles into building basement at 500 North Broadway. Total right-of-way footage is 15 feet. Recommendation that permit for Union Electric Company doing business as Ameren, Missouri to construct new multiple conduit duct banks and manhole installation within 23rd Street, St. Louis Avenue, 22nd Street, Cass Avenue, and Jefferson Avenue at 1500 North 22nd. Recommends approval, subject to certain conditions. From the Director of Streets. Recommendation that permit for Pagan Wine Bar and Books to encroach with Sidewalk Cafe utilizing 35 square feet at 239 North Euclid. Recommends approval subject to certain conditions. From the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Forestry. Recommendation that permit that plans and specifications for the Forest Park Southeast Neighborhood Association to construct the Forest Park Southeast Dog Park and Shuttle Park recommends approval. From the Director of Public Safety, recommendation that 2 festival zones be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. Go St. Louis, April 10, 2016 at Soldiers Memorial Parks and Streets, and Spring Fling in the City, May 7, 2016, at 14th Street Mall in Old North St. Louis. Now we have the conditional uses.
Good afternoon, everyone. Dylan Mosier, zoning plan examiner for the City of St. Louis, representing the building commissioner. Per board order number 766, transmitted here with our recommendations for the following conditional use agenda applications. Approval with conditions is recommended for 5 applications. 2643 Chippewa, 2211 Gravois, 4729 Dr. Martin Luther King Drive, 3800 through 46 South Grand, and 5057 Emerson, with the exception that just earlier this morning we did make an update to the conditions on 5057 Emerson. I supplied copies of an updated version of the conditional use hearing record, and if you'd like, I'll take just a minute to walk you through the changes that I did make, just because we think these will better reflect the use. On the second page, so these are just to the conditions. You'll see what was previously condition number 1, subcondition B, the home occupation shall not generate traffic, parking, sewage, or water. We did remove that because we are talking about a home daycare, so traffic will be generated and water will be generated in excess of what would be a normal residential use. So that was removed, as well as what was condition 1E. Shall not employ anyone who is not also a resident of the home, per the state's licensing. You were actually required to have 1 assistant when you have 10 children on your application. So that obviously wouldn't comply either. And also, the conditions did get scrambled, but you'll see in this new copy that I just handed you, condition G was what the previously condition E was changed to, and essentially that just outlines that they can employ 1 person and only 1 person. And then also down condition number 3, the hours of operations are limited to 6 a.m. to midnight, 7 days a week. That was changed because there was a little confusion about that. Those are the changes. Other than that, I ask that these recommendations be approved as recommended.
Item number 5, which is 3800 through 46 South Grand. This, just want to confirm that this is the conditional use for the Family Dollar store in Alderman Cohn's ward that we sent back last week for clarification on conditions.
Yes, that's correct. I did go through, and the whole staff did, and we did go through the alderman's conditions. We feel that pretty well all of the alderman's conditions that were on his support letter were met, either by adding them into our conditions, or they were already kind of redundant with the conditions that we'd previously submitted, with the exception of number 3. If you guys do have a copy of the alderman's letter, I don't know if you do. Last week you did, but we didn't feel that was appropriate, so that was not added. If you'd like, I can read it out loud.
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay. Condition number 3, the developer/owner of the property will receive written permission/approval pertaining to design standards of the building and lot of the Dutchtown Business Association and the alderman before construction commences, as to ensure the new structure will contribute to the historic nature of the neighborhood in which it is built. That was not added, just to be clear. Other than that, pretty well everything was we felt was either added or already covered by our conditions.
And just to clarify, that condition was not added because it is not an appropriate condition to add to a conditional use?
That's correct.
And I have a quick question. Did you just keep the signage condition as you guys had it worded previously?
Yeah, we did. We didn't take the alderman's wording, and I know that I guess maybe that could be interpreted slightly between the two. They're not directly the same, but we felt the condition that we had, that all signage must be approved by the Office of the Zoning Administrator, was efficient and appropriate.
Sounds good.
Any questions on the conditional uses from the board? Seeing none, I'll take a motion, please.
Motion to approve the conditional uses.
Second.
Moved to approve and seconded. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie.
Aye.
Director Rundy.
Aye.
Director Gray.
Aye.
Director Hayes.
Aye.
President Bradley.
Aye. Conditional uses are approved. Before we discuss the hearing, I want to turn your attention to the tabled item as noted on the agenda last week. We technically handled that tabled item as part of the previous conditional uses, so I don't believe we have to do anything further with that, correct?
Yeah, I think that's fine because it's already been addressed.
We handled the approval through conditional uses. Okay. Hearing number 8173, which was for 1823 McLaren as a grocery store with deli and cooking no liquor. There was a violation of condition number 4 previously, and we granted the conditional use holder 30 days to rectify the said violation. If you'll look in front of you, there is a memo from Mary Hart Burton, the zoning administrator, to Myra Turner, to the zoning administrator, Mary Hart Burton, dated March 4th, 2016, and it reads, per the investigation of the above referenced address, the results are as follows. Reference conditional use permit number 116364. All violations have been brought into compliance. So that was what we had asked for. So what I would ask for is a motion not to revoke conditional use permit 116364, as all the conditions are now in compliance.
Motion to not revoke the permit number 116364, as all of the violations have come into compliance.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie.
Aye.
Director Rundy.
Aye.
Director Hayes.
Aye.
Director Roth is not present. Director Moore is excused. Director Gray.
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye, it is not revoked. Turn your attention to our meeting minutes from March the 1st, last Tuesday. Are there any questions or comments on the minutes? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to approve, please.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie.
Aye.
Director Rundy.
Abstain.
Director Hayes.
Abstain.
Director Roth is not present. Director Moore is excused. Director Gray.
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye, the minutes are approved. The addendum number 1 for today's meeting. Any questions or comments on the addendum? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to approve, please.
Motion to accept the addendum.
Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie.
Aye.
Director Rundy.
Aye.
Director Hayes.
Aye.
Director Roth is not present. Director Moore is excused. Director Gray.
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye, the addendum's approved. Today's agenda, are there any questions or comments on the agenda? Seeing none, I'll take a motion, please.
Motion to accept today's agenda.
Second.
Okay, moved in second, and a call for the use of previous roll. Is there any objection to use of previous roll? Seeing none, the agenda is approved. Motion for adjournment, please.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, meeting adjourned.